Welcome, dear ones. I am Fedrajani, and you are listening to Innerlight, a podcast dedicated to kindle a light of meaning into your life. On today's episode, we will continue our journey on exploring the personality types. We will talk about the essence of an Esfj, the Caregiver of Human Connection. Esfj is a personality type characterized by extroverted feeling, introverted sensing, extraverted intuition, and introverted thinking. I have chosen the figure of Hera as the embodiment of an Esfj. As the Greek goddess of marriage and family, Hera exemplifies the Esfj's deep commitment to tradition, social order, and loyalty. She is often portrayed as the ultimate caregiver of the household, fiercely protective of her marital bonds and social status. When you look closely at an Esfj personality type, one defining trait stands above all others: a deep sense of propriety. This isn't about being rigid or obsessed with rules. For the Esfj, property exists to protect something vital, the integrity of the group. They instinctively understand that cooperation doesn't survive on goodwill alone. It survives through structure, shared responsibility, and mutual care. To an Esfj, a family, a workplace, or a community stays healthy only when everyone knows their role and contributes in a way that's fair and balanced. Responsibilities are not fixed hierarchies. They're adjusted constantly to ensure no one is oppressed, overlooked, or trampled. But when someone begins rejecting this cooperative structure, when selfishness starts corroding the group from the inside, the Esfj becomes firm, decisive, and unyielding. To them, this isn't a disagreement. It's a threat to the well-being of the whole. Esfjs are remarkably forgiving people. They will excuse mistakes, extend patience, and offer repeated chances to those around them. However, forgiveness has limits. When behavior starts to violate what the Esfj perceives as objective values, fairness, loyalty, responsibility, and respect, the tone changes. Warmth gives way to resolve. At that point, the Esfj can become surprisingly sharp, defending what they believe is correct with unwavering conviction. This toughness doesn't come from cruelty. It comes from care. At their core, Esfjs are cooperators, and more importantly, elicitors of cooperation. They are finely attuned to the subtle dynamics between people: who feels included, who feels uneasy, who is holding the group together, and who might be pulling it apart. They don't merely observe relationships, they actively maintain them. Practical, grounded, and deeply human, Esfjs combine curiosity with realism. They are loyal, often quietly authoritative, and genuinely energized by company, not for stimulation, but for connection. As a judging type, the Esfj prefers extroverted judging and introverted perceiving. This means they base decisions on objective, external information: what works, what's appropriate, what benefits the group, while internally observing and observing their subjective experiences. They are outwardly active and decisive, yet inwardly receptive and reflective. Their dominant function, extroverted feeling, works alongside introverted sensation, shaping how they move through the world. Extroverted feeling adapts to shared values. It harmonizes with social expectations and asks, what does this situation need from me right now? It is accommodating, socially intelligent, and deeply responsive to atmosphere. Introverted sensation, meanwhile, records lived experiences. It catalogs reality through personal memory, investing perceptions with subjectively and recalling them when similar situations arise. This gives ESFJ a strong sense of continuity, tradition, and practical wisdom. Because of this, ESFJs are already highly tuned to what is considered normal, comforting, and appropriate in different contexts. They listen, they care, and they make sure you feel that care. ESFJs demonstrate a grounded, stabilizing presence that people instinctively trust. When it comes to service and self-sacrifice, they focus on practical action. They don't just emphasize, they respond. They notice realistic needs, comfort, logistics, emotional safety, and address them directly. Their sensitivity to others is filtered through personal interpretation, which can lead to deep insight or occasional misunderstanding. Either way, their approach remains down to earth and actionable. The ESFJ worldview can be compared to an old truck. It isn't flashy, it doesn't have the newest technology, but the engine has been running reliably for decades. It's tough, simple, and efficient. If something has worked for 40 years, the ESFJ sees no reason to discard it. This gives them a sense of being anchored, disciplined, dependable, and resistant to unnecessary change. People often lean on this steadiness, especially in uncertain times. At the heart of the ESFJ personality lies the combination of extroverted feeling and introverted sensation, which orients them towards loyalty and human bonds. ESFJs don't just want relationships, they want reliable, reciprocal relationships built on trust and shared commitment. They thrive in environments where people are united and emotionally bonded, where the group feels like a family rather than a loose association. Because of this, ESFJs are almost universally popular. They possess casual charm and relational brilliance, capable of creating a rapid rapport while remaining genuinely warm and engaging. Their extroverted feeling allows them to read the room effortlessly. They adapt to the mood, match the emotional tone, and when necessary, adjust themselves to maintain harmony. Often called the guardians, ESFJs can become the parental figures of their communities, protective, nurturing, and fiercely defensive when someone they love is threatened. They prefer smooth social flow and emotional ease. Beneath that elegance lies their inferior introverted thinking, quietly attempting to analyze life, break it into components, and understand the structure behind their intuitive social skill. While not always confident in this realm, it gives them an underlying desire for clarity and coherence. Despite their strengths, ESFJs can struggle with a sense of directionlessness. They are excellent at daily responsibilities, showing up, caring for others, keeping things running, yet sometimes feel as though all their energy is circling without a clear destination. When ESFJs find a long-term aim, their intensity becomes coordinated and deeply fulfilling. Their natural diligence gains purpose. Fortunately, they are rarely hesitant when opportunities arise. Perhaps more than any other types, ESFJs excel at connecting with people. They bring individuals together and wrap them in warmth, safety, and shared experience. They create environments where people feel secure enough to open up, often in ways they wouldn't elsewhere. So ESFJs don't just love people, they look after them. And in a fragmented world like this, that role is invaluable. This is the essence of an ESFJ. Thank you very much for listening to today's episode, my dear ones. I hope you enjoyed it. You can listen to the episode on YouTube, YouTube Music, and Spotify. I am fedrajani. Stay connected until the next episode.